What's up, America? Neil here of Geauga Firearms Academy. Thanks for watching. We're gonna take a quasi in-depth look at the new M2R Warrior. This is the Pro, all right? And we're gonna kind of compare it to the other non-Pro version, okay? This is the M2T Warrior, all right? And there's a couple of contrasts. They also have the M2 Warrior that has a similar button, which we'll talk about. So let's get to it. Couple differences with this cat. It is a little bit bigger in diameter than the M2, the non-Pro version, if you will. Same clips on it. They did enhance the button on the back here. It's more of a tactical button. Still not a fan, not my favorite. I much prefer this button for tactical use because I like to be able to use the syringe or cigar method, however you want to call it, where you're using your palm, the meat part of your palm, to press the button. And in case you're wondering, because it was something I thought of, is why don't I just take that tail cap and put it on the back of that bad boy? It doesn't work. The diameter is a little bit different and they don't fit. A little bit beefier, it even feels a little bit heavier of a flashlight. Now, you'll notice that on the very back here on the button, it's got like these raised little cats back here, these little points. And that's to prevent it from going off if you set it down flat. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'm not a fan of it. If you don't want your button to go off, then just release it a little bit and then it won't go off, okay? I want a button that is raised for tactical purposes. And that's what this is built for, is a tactical light, not necessarily just a straight utility light. And that's the case. I want a button that sticks up pretty high. Now, if anybody at Olight is listening, if you want to make, in my opinion, the best flashlight ever, what you're going to do is take this type of button and you're going to, I don't care if there's a setting or a switch or you turn something, but a way that when you attach it to the back of the light and you press down on the button, it is always it's always a momentary button, period. No matter how long, how hard, how short, when I press it and let it go, whether it's half a second or 2 minutes, when I release the button, it turns off. Now, it does do that. Both of these, if I press the button in here, okay, and then I release, it will go off. But if I press it quick, it will not. All right, so if I wanted to just pop into a room and check an area real quick, and I don't want to sit there for a while and show everybody where I'm at, I just want to illuminate an area, that's kind of a pain in the butt with this light. Any of the Olights, I'm not a big fan of that. So I would definitely, if you're listening, this button, make it constant on. If you want to use this button, I'm sorry, not constant on, momentary on. If you want to use an additional button to make constant on, sweet, do it. If you're going to use a light for constant on purposes, you've got plenty of time, okay? But if you're building it as a tactical light, that would be the one major improvement I would make across the board. Now, what I do like, the knurling, the crown bezel, if you will, on the older versions, nowhere near as pronounced as the new ones, just as a side-by-side comparison there. A huge difference there, and I like that a lot. I mean, you could pretty much dig a hole with this if you had to. I mean, that's pretty awesome, especially for defensive, again, what they're building this for, defensive light. Really great striking implement for there. Good knurling on the grip itself, so holds on nice, feels heavy, feels quality. It's got their signature S clip on it, so you could clip it to a bill or clip it to an object. You could put it in your pocket or whatever you want to do in either direction. So for that purpose, I like that, and of course it's removable. And I have them here. The pressure pads that come that are available through Olight's, all of them work. Okay, even with those raised portions there. This one is specific to the Valkyrie Pro. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it doesn't matter. They all work. Press the button, light comes on. One of the nice things I like about the Olight products is they're kind of universal as far as their products, and some people like this, some people don't. Some people say you can catch it and get pulled. I think they're pretty sturdy. Ultimately, if you had a cord and it got caught on something, you're probably going to rip it to shreds, or this might give away and you might have another chance to use it again. So there's pluses and minuses on both. But nonetheless, the actual connections and the pads, they're kind of universal. They will also work on the back of my favorite flashlight that they make, which is the Warrior X. I carry that on duty, and I've got lots and lots of experience on that one. So let's talk about some specs and why did I decide to do another Olight light. I felt it was different enough and worthy of a video. They upped the ante, if you will. The specs on the Pro a little bit better. 1500 lumens versus 1800 lumens. The one really nice feature for those that actually use their lights a lot, this now has a 2 amp battery charger. So instead of the 1 amp, it doubled its performance, which if you guys use Olight, again, love their products, but man, they take a long time. Pretty much gotta charge them overnight. So they're gonna cut that time. I mean, I'm no mathematician, but if it's twice the output, I would say it's probably half the time. Correct me if I'm wrong, but anyway, it's gonna charge much faster. So that's a nice enhancement on that as well. Other than that, the functionality is the same. I do think they did enhance this this tail cap switch, so it is a little easier. You got the halfway, and then you press it all the way and it gets even brighter. So that's gonna give you your full 1800. And of course, my favorite feature with a lot of their lights is that if you have this little button here, when you press it and hold it, I'm gonna get up closer to the camera here because you probably still won't be able to see it, but if you press and hold it, the light actually comes as a firefly. I don't know what it is. Very small, couple lumens. So if you're in a vehicle or something like that, I use it a lot on duty. I can look at something really quick, even though I've got this big heavy flashlight in my hand, and if I have to, I can hit the tail cap switch and I'm back up to full performance. So very cool about that. Let's take a look at some durability. One other little side note, there's this little guy. This is the, I gotta read it, i3T EOS. This is a really cool little AAA battery flashlight, all-day utility EDC light, real small, not much bigger than the actual battery itself. Nice button on the back. Real simple operation. You press it once and it comes on a low level. Press it twice, or second time rather, and it comes to the high level. Again, not a tactical flashlight, but man, real lightweight. Clips on bills. I've used this for a headlamp for working on stuff, or roadside assistance, that kind of thing. Tons of little options. Uses for this little guy. It's a AAA battery. You can find them anywhere. Fantastic little light, and I think they have some of these that they give away when you buy a certain amount and all that. You can check out their promotions below. But anyway, I've had this now for a long time, probably close to 6 months. And Kim, how many times? How many times?
Twice.
Twice. I think it's closer to 3 or 4 times. But I've forgotten this in my pocket and ran it through the washing machine. So it's a tough little fella, and it keeps on ticking. All right, let's talk about some durability here. We got some lights soaking in this little mud puddle here overnight. You guys have seen us freeze them overnight and all that, so I have no concerns whatsoever. But let's take a look at a couple of these bad boys here and see what happens. All right. So right out of the box here. And by the way, with let's check it out with gloves on. Can we press the button? And we can. So no issues whatsoever overnight. I didn't get totally freezing, but pretty close, about 38 degrees. And I had no doubt whatsoever this would work. Now, my favorite weapon-mounted light. Okay. It happens to also be in my little treasure puddle here. This is the PL Pro. This is the Valkyrie. I carry this on duty every day. Okay. I have both versions. I have the solid state CR123. I have this rechargeable, and I even have I think it's called, I don't remember, something with a V. It's got a laser light on it. I'm not a big fan of lasers, but very few applications, but still a great light. Throwing it on some rifles. Anyhow, quick detach, okay, real nice, very bright light, very easy to use. So why is it my favorite light? Well, one, it's super durable. Two, it's super bright. It actually, you can set it to 2 different brightness levels. I know there's going to be a bunch of internet warriors who are going to explode and go crazy on their keyboard. I don't care what you have to say. I work in a highly urban environment, and the rooms that we're clearing are very tiny, and the highest level of brightness is just too much. Okay, it can be too much. I'm not talking about outdoors or property clearing. I'm talking about in a small urban environment. So I like the fact, I believe it's 500 or 600 lumens, and I leave it on that. Plus, it keeps the charge long time. Also, there's your charge. And by the way, we mentioned the charging ports that, I'm sorry, the pressure pads. This is specifically for the Valkyrie Pro, because as you can see, the wire comes in linear or horizontal, however you want to look at it. So if you had this mounted on something, that's the way it's designed. This bigger, older version, that's it may not be older. It's just this is more designed for the Warrior X and whatnot, because that would go into the back of it, so it would be aligned this way. We'll still, by the way, activate the light. So again, as I said earlier, they will both work, no problems. And it does get extremely bright on the highest settings. Quick disconnect, fantastic. And by the way, if any of you are in security or law enforcement and you have Safariland holsters that are set up for the TLR1s or TLR1HLs, these fit, no questions asked. Mine is my Safariland holster is a TLR1, and it fits these all day long. So no issues there. And it comes with different rails so that you can adjust it for your particular gun. So it couldn't be more ecstatic about these little guys. Good overview of the couple of products that they have available. Of course, Olight does have a whole host of stuff. Check them out. Of course, they're always putting stuff on sale. I try to kind of not do as many Olight sales as they'd like, because they have one pretty much every month, as it seems. And I think if you guys watch me at all, it's usually because you know I'm in law enforcement and I use this stuff in the field, and I'm telling you straight up what I think of it. So far I've had no failures whatsoever with these lights. By the way, the Warrior X, since I use it all the time, I can tell you that it vibrates when it gets really low. I don't know what the percentage is. You can, you know, do the specs, but that's kind of a really cool feature. I've gotten to that low level many times, and so I make sure I bring it home and plug her in. All right, you guys know how to find us. Here we're on Facebook. We are also on YouTube, of course, where you're watching this for now probably. Our A-list stuff goes to Patreon. By the way, some cool changes on Patreon that we've done, so check that out. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but some cool new features we've had on there. We also are on Twitter. Until next time, remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.